Between forest nymph and werewolf, the place of the man in the world according to pre-Slavic mythology. Mamai, Dandelion. Greetings to all those who care about mysteries on the mantelpiece. We continue to investigate the Witcher's case. In the previous part, we clarified the psychological meaning of transformation into an animal, which is surprisingly accurate transfer of the state when a person doesn't cope with the situation, so instead takes his inner beast. Fairy tale helper animals should be considered the same way, because when a bear, a falcon, and a pie come to the prince's aid while hunting for Cochet the immortal needle, they come not from the forest but prince's subconscious. Animal helpers in fairy tales as Ivan the Tsarevich and the Grey Wolf shouldn't be imagined as separate from the hero creatures. These are his states. Tsarevich turns into a wolf to get a princess, but to awaken her feelings he must say goodbye to the wolf in himself, to become human again. Viktor Vatsitsov conveyed this moment of the impossibility of a full-fledged combination of the wolf, Ivan, and the princess in the picture of the same name. While Ivan needs a wolf help, the princess is asleep. She will wake up only when the wolf disappears into the wilderness, when Ivan regains human nature. So what should be done for such a return? Ukrainian myths gave a recipe. A wolf can be recognized by its hind legs, not like wolves and dogs, but by the knees forward and the obligatory rope around the neck. So, it is enough to break this rope and the magic will dissipate. In other words, we need to break the vicious circle that we fall into when we are obsessed with a problem. For example, the inability to express our feelings the way we want perfectly. There is no solution to the problem on your own, you need to go beyond it. Sometimes this requires the help of relatives, friends, or a psychologist. For the most part, it is enough to approach the situation with humor, to behave paradoxically, like substituting the other cheek. The image of Cossack Mamai, the most recognizable symbol of Ukraine, is shrouded in such humor and paradoxicality. The humorous component of this multi-faced and complex image, which will be the subject of a special investigation by the Detective Sculpture channel, was underlined by amusing accompanying texts such as "Grow, grow, how Yana was strength I had." As for the paradox, it is more than paradoxical to sit under a tree and pick up the strings of bandura, while the situation requires swinging a sword, because the image of the Cossack Mamai appears in the most challenging period in his history of Ukraine. It's not that you shouldn't react to circumstances or sit back while others are at war, but that you can't reduce yourself to the reaction. In the universe of The Witcher, a similar role is played by the wandering bard Julian Arthur Pancraz Viscount de Lattenhof, better known as Dandelion. It is of little use more, it even makes it difficult for a friend to fight monsters. Involuntarily, another famous pair of characters are mentioned, Holmes and Watson, from which the figure of the doctor is more mysterious and requires special investigation. The analogy is evident because we see Holmes through Watson's eyes and Geralt through the eyes of Dandelion. Mythology is the name of these strange characters who are endowed with both extraordinary wisdom and talent to get into trouble and do nonsense. They are called tricksters, jokers. The traits of trickster are easily recognizable in the image of Ivan the Fool, Hans, the simpleton, Hodjas Nasruddin, or Mr. Bean. They embody paradoxical wisdom not commensurate with the ordinary state of mind, with its division into good and evil, high and low. The image of the trickster is designed not to solve this or that problem, but to destroy the very conditions of existence, to bring the thought to another plane. The Ukrainian trickster Mamai gives the soul a fifth dimension, where it is possible to be at the same time as the existence of four historical dimensions in space-time, of the existing historical situation with all its intolerance. The wisdom of myth knows no force wouldn't face defeat. Magic eventually betrays every wizard, and military fortune betrays every knight. However, this defeat is not the end of the world. It only raises new questions, deepens our understanding of life. It is impossible to win constantly. Each hero will be defeated, if not the enemy, then time. Thus, despite all the efforts of the hero of the Celtic epic King Arthur, he couldn't stop invasion of the Saxons. Arthur's name, and later the hero of the Saxons, the famous Robin Hood, who successfully combined the traits of a hero and a trickster, in other words, Geralt and Dandelion, happily avoided all the traps set for him by the Norman rulers of England, but lost the battle against time. He lost, and didn't lose, because he still defeats the Sheriff of Nottingham in ballads, movies, and games. Mamai is often interpreted as an image of Cossack Charakternik, magician, but his strength is greater than magic and military skills because it is based on defeat, which grows out of it, as from the fertile Ukrainian land means. Bear. It seems that the world of the English epic has nothing to do with Ukrainian mythology. However, Hutsul still called the bear Arthur, which is not surprising, since in the west of Ukraine the Celtic trait is easily traced, and it can be seen even in the similarity of the names Galicia and Gav. On the other hand, there is a well-argued version of the Sarmatian origin of the Knights of the Round Table. This version formed the basis of the film King Arthur. Many motifs from the Arthurian cycle were included in the cycle about sorcerer Geralt. To some extent, the strength of the bard Dandelion is greater than that of Geralt. After all, the last one is Sapkowski's cameo. He doesn't only glorify the Witcher's exploits, but gives them the proper form. However, the power of the word about the hero is always greater than all his exploits, going far beyond their limited space and time specifics. Even if the bard's song is not worthy of the heroic deed, it will be still a happy defeat. After all, there is no higher achievement for the author than when his work receives an independent life, incomprehensible and inaccessible to his creator. Every creator is partly a jester, because at the same time he introduces particular laws according to which his world will live and violates them. The expectations of the reader or the viewer are equally ambiguous. We get pleasure from the work only if it has both internal validity and a place for surprises. Such a surprise in the most ancient myths is the next turn of the plot. Victory over the monster is not only and not always possible, but also not only always necessary. According to research by Mircea Eliade, the original rites of initiation were absorption of the initiate by the monster. An echo of this ancient rite is found in the tale of Little Red Riding Hood. Probably, similar structure rites form the basis of ideas about the transformation of wolves into nerves. The very invincibility of one or another mythical monster directs the human ego to be included in a broader unity. In House June night, the centurion's daughter dies to become a mermaid. After all, only as a mermaid can she overcome the witch stepmother. Of course, such a paradoxical path to ultimate victory through defeat, is best avoided. After all, turning into a mermaid or science is no less burdensome than turning into a wolf or a bear, or maybe more tragic. In the next part of the investigation, we'll try to shed light on these dark depths of the subconscious. We are waiting for your feedback and likes. We remind you that among all those who sign up for the Patreon, we'll draw a Geralt medallion. Maybe it will help you discover Witcher sense. See you on our channel!